I'm kind of curious about this CNN video.
It's starting to get to the point where I'm
Maybe I won't be in like 2 seconds, but right now I am.
a little bit concerned about understanding what like is AI and what's not. So when I'm scrolling through my feed, I occasionally will see things that I'm like, I'm not sure which one that is. And so up until this point, I've been able to tell really, really well. But honestly, in the past week, like even there's been a couple of videos that have come up that I've been very like, I don't know. And so that's kind of scaring me.
Welcome back to Terms of Service. I'm Claire Duffy. On this show, we've talked a lot about how AI impacts teenagers, their schoolwork, their social development. But what about their futures? When it comes to college and career planning, how are they thinking about how AI factors into that? I spoke with 3 current high school students who all had somewhat different philosophies on this, and you can hear all of those conversations in the audio version of this podcast. Here's my conversation with one of them, Lincoln Bonk, who is a high school sophomore in Georgia. Well, Lincoln, it's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
Remind me what grade you're in?
So I'm a sophomore in high school in Georgia.
And when did you first...
Have you seen there are multiple AI artists trending on the billboards? Yeah. No, everything is already gone. Everything is already gone everywhere. Nothing's left. It's all fake. Everything is fake.
First use AI in school? Like, what was the tool or the platform that introduced you to AI in the school setting?
So I was in honors biology last year at the beginning of my semester. So it's been about exactly a year when the teacher basically had us do an assignment, and he encouraged, I believe it was AI to do research. So asking questions, prompting. I believe I used ChatGPT as my language model for prompting and asking questions. And then we may have also used image generation, but that may have been later in the class.
Cool. And have you been using AI like in your personal life outside of school at all?
Yeah, so my AI experience did not come from school at all. And I feel like that's pretty standard with a lot of kids is they get their AI experience somewhere that's not the classroom. And so when teachers encourage AI use in the classroom, they're not really teaching us. It's more we're seeing it from our friends or through social media. And so we have a lot of background knowledge to walk into class with to use it effectively.
Got it. And how are you using it?
I saw an anime clip. I guess it's like the trailer for an anime series or whatever, where the premise was that a guy input pictures of an acquaintance from school into a program that creates an AI 3D hologram girlfriend for you. The idea being like it's a wish fulfillment fantasy, like, hey guys, AI can do this for you. It would, AI will easily allow you to, so on and so forth. It's everywhere, man. You guys were mad she said cool, but like I hope you all know that like AI use right now it's completely saturated at every level of society, I do think that its use is going to fall off. It already has started to fall off in some corporate environments, but it's not good right now.
Personally?
So I want to go into political science. So I use AI to better understand like the different facets of an issue. I think that's like really important. It's really helpful when asking, like, I've used it for religious questions before to understand different denominations of my faith. I've searched for answers for things, used it for research projects, written things, and had it annotate my writing before. So I've used it for a lot of different things.
And mostly ChatGPT, or using other platforms too?
ChatGPT is my preferred platform. So I use AI on my mobile platform. It's like what I typically interact with AI on, but I have tried Copilot. But I really like the fact that ChatGPT has a lot of my chat history. And so it knows, it can reference prior conversations. And I really appreciate the fact that it can do that.
Just going back to school, do you find that most teachers are embracing AI in the classroom? Has there been resistance to AI at school? What's your experience been like there?
So it varies between teachers.
This guy sounds like a cousin. This man is insufferable. I don't think he's being insufferable. I just think that, like, I don't know, man. It's like the kid never had a chance a little bit. AI chatbots became a thing when he was like 14 or something. Like, what? That's fucking crazy. You haven't even had a chance to develop like a coherent worldview.
So different classrooms and teachers have different policies and opinions on AI. So, for example, in a lot of my STEM courses, like math, AI is not.
That's nonsense, Vaush. I'm 20 and I never use AI. When the fuck? What is that? How is that nonsense? Did I make a statement about you? Did I say, hey, Mr. DNA in chat has been using AI as life, and now you're countering that claim of mine? What are you talking about? No one can. We don't care. I've never done AI. I don't even know how to use them. I've never used any of them. Give me a fucking cookie, okay? I'm not talking about your personal upstanding moral character. I'm just saying, like, the kid didn't have a chance, you know? You have to think of these things. This is a mass technological adoption a process, right? We're talking about, in a sociological sense, odds and averages, not like any individual, you know.
Involved in the classroom very much at all. That being said, students might use it on their own time to better understand their classwork, or we actually did a character AI chat in class to better understand a play we were reading. So it varies teacher to teacher. And
I think one thing that makes it worse is that American public education is wretchedly bad. And as a consequence, a lot of these kids aren't learning anything anyway. So the difference between them succeeding with the use of AI versus, like, it doesn't feel like it's something worth putting the effort in towards, you know? Which is probably true in the first place, but yeah.
The classroom setting we're in, AI is either encouraged or not.
I'm curious both for your opinion and what you've heard from your peers. How are young people feeling about the influence that AI has in their lives right now? Are you feeling mostly positive or negative, or tell me about that?
So personally, I felt really positive up until about this point, and I've just seen a lot of like the really cool things it can do with like content creation. You know, as a young person on social media, I get to see like creators using that to make their videos better. But as of more recent, I've seen some of the negative impacts. It's starting to get to the point where I'm a little bit concerned about understanding what like is AI and what's not. So when I'm scrolling through my feed, I occasionally will see things that I'm like, I'm not sure which one that is.
Do we value these guys' opinion? This kid can't even talk. You people are pissing me off right now. You're demonstrating a level of social unintelligence so profound that it makes me wonder if you grew up with ChatGPT. It's a high schooler sharing his experiences. He's just a kid. We're just listening to the kid talk, and we're learning. It's an anthropological engagement. You're desperately trying to moralize. Oh, I'm better than him. You're statistically speaking, you're probably conversationally not that far off from him, okay? Just you rush to judge, and you're too busy judging to learn.
And so up until this point, I've been able to tell really, really well. But honestly, in the past week, like even there's been a couple of videos that have come up that I've been very like, I don't know. And so that's kind of scaring me. And then also the social impact of like, if someone were to take like my face or a picture of me and edit it using AI, there's like a way to use AI to like create like an image of two people kissing each other. And that's just like really concerning because that impacts my daily life and social life. If that were to like, if people were to mess around too much with that.
Like I haven't heard of people using it in quite that way. So that is both interesting and concerning. I'm curious, you
Really?
talked about wanting to go into politics. Has your thoughts about your future career planning or college changed at all because of AI and the way that we're seeing AI kind of disrupt the workforce at this point?
Personally, it hasn't changed what I've wanted to do. I'm pretty passionate about wanting to go into politics or business or law. And so those are like all fields I'm super, super interested in. But I understand that like the approach I might take to get into that or be successful in that has changed to having to be like tech savvy. So, for example, I know that I go into politics, I'm going to have like a general knowledge of how to use AI, make my work quicker and more efficient. And I think that's like really important.
I wonder how common that perception is in young people.
I'm curious, like, are college guidance counselors or teachers at your school talking about the way that AI could impact your career in the future or the careers of students in the future?
I think what I'm seeing a lot of is that students are still wanting to do what they love to do. Like even so, like a lot of STEM careers are like considered like maybe at risk for AI encroachment into the workplace, or even writing. I have a friend who enjoys creative writing, and so there's like some concern about how that might impact that. But I think a lot of the students who are still wanting to go into that will go into that, but they'll have to adapt to the AI features. And so remain very careful when searching these out and retain creativity, because that's important. So just learn how to bring AI into what you love.
Yeah, it's cool too to hear you describe how you've been able to figure out how to incorporate AI. And
I think like I know this is what you're going to get from like CNN or whatever. You can't really expect much more, but there is something so ideologically, intellectually vacuous about having these kinds of podcasts when the podcast host doesn't have an opinion. I swear, I know it's different now, but like 10, 15 years ago, the standard format for a podcast was that the speaker, the person doing the podcast was some kind of subject expert. And they would bring people on who were either also experts in that field, or they like, you know, in adjacent fields, or just people that they could use their knowledge to like glean stuff off of. It wasn't just like empty interviews, you know? Now, of course, it's totally different. Podcasts are, you know, totally different. Thanks, Joe Rogan. Well, he did pave the way, you know? He did light the flame. That is true. He did carry the flame. That's the phrase. Not clear what the purpose of this whole thing is. That's true. I do kind of get that feel. Yeah, what is the purpose of this, you know? What's the objective of asking these questions? I mean, for a lot of you just want to fucking yell at a 17-year-old for some reason. I don't get it. I guess it's easier when you're 18, you know? 18-year-olds love to fold their arms and be like, I hate kids. I got bad news for you, son. You are still a dang kid. My dad is the headmaster of a secondary school. Headmaster, so I assume you're British? One of the other schools in the area just had a made nudes of one of the female students passed around. Ooh. The boy who made it got caught and punished, but he was telling me about what the schools are trying to do to stop it, and they basically have no idea what to do. In my opinion, these are not problems that can be solved until... Okay, so I'm speaking from an American perspective. These are problems that can't be solved until we bring back expulsions and held back a year. You know, right now we refuse to ever expel or fail kids because it cuts into the federal budget, because every seat that's filled is more money in the school's pockets. That shit needs to go. We need to have infractions and discipline standards that can meaningfully be, because like, hold on, let me see if I can try, let me think of how to phrase this, okay? Making AI generated nudes of your high school classmate is profoundly fucked up. But young people are also profoundly fucked up because they don't have the moral center. It's like an RNG generator up here. What the fuck are they doing on any given day? What are they thinking? No one fucking knows. They're insane. They're stupid. That doesn't mean they shouldn't be punished. They should be. But we need to have real consequences. And none of these consequences really work if you're never going to fail anyone, you know? I don't think it should always mean perma-expulsion or your life is over or whatever, but there need to be like real consequences for antisocial behavior. Also, right now, I feel like the threat of being held back doesn't even hit as hard because a lot of people don't even seem to think school matters. There's no collective faith in the validity of the educational institutions. So as a consequence, like... Okay, so you get held back, you know, whatever. I don't know, whatever, man. It's fucked up. I'm going to make my money off crypto anyway. Like, oh, okay. I guess so. Whatever, man. I'll just be a rich streamer. And then you know what? Then he does. That's the fucked up thing. He's like, I don't give a fuck if I get held back for making nudes of my fucking underage classmate. I'm just going to crypto and streaming, baby. And then he goes ~1 on Twitch. To be fair, Vaush, getting held back isn't that terrible. I got held back 2 years because of depression, and I'm fine. You're not fine. You're getting mad at 17-year-olds being interviewed on a CNN podcast. I'm saying that their use of AI was a consequence of material forces outside their control, and you were trying to compete with them. You're not fine. I got held back in kindergarten because I would have been 4. Yeah, well, you know what? I skipped a grade. So if we're all laying our dicks out on the table,